When a little girl dropped her ice cream right in front of him, she started to cry. Without hesitation, the man took out his last dollar and bought her a new one. The girl's mother saw this and quickly pulled her daughter away, glaring at him with disgust. Hours later, the same woman returned alone. She walked straight to the homeless man and handed him an envelope. "I'm sorry for judging you," she said softly. "I work at the bank across the street. I've been watching you for weeks. Every day you share your food with stray dogs. You help elderly people carry their bags. You never ask for anything in return," she continued. "My daughter told me what you did today. That was your last dollar, wasn't it?" The man nodded silently. "I have a job opening at our bank. It's yours if you want it. We need someone with your heart." The man's eyes filled with tears. "But I have no address, no clean clothes." "We'll figure that out," she smiled. "Character matters more than appearance." 6 months later, the same man, now clean and in a suit, was promoted to manager. He never forgot his days on the street. Every week, he bought meals for the homeless in his neighborhood. Drop a heart if you believe kindness always comes back. A rich man walked into a church and sat in the front row. An old janitor was cleaning nearby. The man shouted, "Hey, you dirty old man! Move away from me, you smell bad." The janitor quietly stepped back and continued cleaning. The man's young daughter whispered, "Dad, that's not nice." But he snapped, "Be quiet. I donate money here. I can sit anywhere I want." After the service, the pastor walked over. "Sir, I saw what you did." "That was wrong." The rich man laughed. "Wrong? I give $10,000 every month to this church. You should thank me, not lecture me." The pastor shook his head. "Money doesn't give you the right to hurt others." The man stood up angry. "Fine. I'll stop donating. Let's see how you survive without my money." Just then, the janitor came over holding an envelope. "Pastor, here's my monthly donation." The pastor opened it. Inside was $15,000. The rich man was shocked. "How can a janitor afford that?" The pastor smiled. "This man owns 3 successful businesses. He works here as a janitor because he believes in serving others with humility. While you use money to look down on people, he uses it to lift them up." The man's daughter looked at her father with sad eyes. "Dad, I'm ashamed of you." The rich man fell to his knees. "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Teach me to be humble like him. Money can buy many things, but it can never buy respect. Drop a heart if you agree."
A young woman holding her grandmother's hand turns to her older sister and says, "Sister, from today, Grandma will stay with you." She gently sets down Grandma's small suitcase. The older sister smiles. "No problem. But what about Grandpa?" With warmth, the younger sister reassures her, "Don't worry, Grandpa will stay with me." The older sister lovingly guides Grandma inside. Her husband, watching, smiles. She turns to him. "From today, Grandma will live with us. We must take good care of her," he asks gently. "And Grandpa?" She sighs. "He's fine with my sister, but Grandma needs more care." Her husband nods. "Don't worry, I will take special care of Grandma too." That night, Grandma calls her husband. "How are you?" she asks softly. His voice is heavy. "I'm fine, but I feel lonely." The older sister's husband overhears. "We should bring Grandpa here," he says. His wife nods. They've spent their whole lives together. Now, it's our turn. The next day, they bring Grandpa home. As the elderly couple sees each other, their eyes fill with tears. Family belongs together. Share this story.
"I love my family, but something is not right. I have a wife and her stepdaughter. My son, Alex, is 10 years old, and he lost his mom 2 years ago. I want my wife to treat him like her own kid, but she hardly pays attention to him. One day, we were celebrating my stepdaughter's birthday. Everyone was happy and taking pictures. I thought this was a great chance for Alex to feel included. I said, 'Come join the picture, Alex.' He smiled and ran over. But then, my wife looked at Alex and said, 'Get out of the picture. I want one with just my daughter.' My heart sank. It felt like she was saying Alex didn't belong. I wanted to shout, 'He is part of this family too.' There was a moment of silence, and I felt very sad. I gathered my courage and said, 'Why can't you treat Alex like your own child? He needs love too.' My voice shook, but I needed her to understand. Then, to my surprise, my wife sighed and said, 'I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt him. I thought I was protecting my daughter from feeling like they were losing her mom. I see now that we can all love each other.' In that moment, I realized we could grow together. Love doesn't have to be divided. It can be shared."
My sister used to be the life of the party with hobbies, friends, and an adventurous spirit. She took classes every week to learn new skills and maintained a close friend group since middle school. But after having kids, she changed completely. She got married at 21 and had her kids at 24. Marriage didn't change her, but having kids did. She quit her job as an art teacher and devoted herself entirely to motherhood. She believed no one could take care of her kid like she could, so she refused all help from family and friends. She canceled all plans with her friends, even though some of them were moms too. Her husband filed for divorce, wanting his old wife back. It was a harsh wake-up call for her. In a family video call, we confronted her. Our father asked, "When was the last time you and your husband went on on a date. She replied that it didn't matter because the kids came first. We all disagreed, saying that just because she's a mom doesn't mean other relationships don't matter. Even when we offered to watch the kids so she and her husband could have some time alone, she refused. A good mom never leaves her kids. A few days ago, she asked me to come over and we talked. She kept talking about the kids and barely mentioned her feelings. I told her the truth. Making motherhood your whole identity doesn't make you a good mom. Balance is key, she cried, realizing what she had lost.
An old carpenter offered a young traveler shelter from the rain. The traveler had no money, but promised, truly promised, to repay him. A nearby innkeeper scoffed, "You're too trusting." Later that evening, a hungry child knocked on the carpenter's door, clutching a broken toy, offering it in exchange for food. The carpenter smiled. "Come in," he said softly, and fed the child, placing the toy gently on his shelf. The next morning, a woman came by, asking if he could repair her chair. "Can you pay?" he asked gently. She hesitated. "My purse was stolen." He simply nodded and did the work anyway. His neighbor shook his head, frowning. "You'll grow old and poor, giving your work away like that." That evening, the carpenter sat by his little fire, alone, tired. No one had come back. He sighed, was just about to turn in for the night when he heard a knock. He opened the door, and there they were. The traveler returned, bringing others, the child's parents, the woman with the chair, even the innkeeper, each one carrying something: food, tools, coins. One man stepped forward and said, "Let me build you a new workshop." Kindness, it turned out, had simply taken the scenic route.
The old man collapsed on the sidewalk, clutching his chest. "Help! Someone help me!" A businessman rushed over, pulling out his phone. "I'm calling 911. Wait!" The old man gasped. "My medicine!" "In my pocket, but I can't afford it." The businessman didn't hesitate. He grabbed the prescription, ran to the pharmacy, and emptied his wallet. "That's $300, sir. Your card was declined. Cash only." The businessman counted every last dollar he had. "Please, hurry. Someone's dying." He rushed back and gave the old man his pills. Minutes later, the ambulance arrived. The old man grabbed his hand weakly. "What's your name, son?" "James. James Mitchell." The paramedics took him away. The businessman walked home slowly. His phone buzzed. "Final notice. Pay rent by tomorrow or you're evicted." He stared at his empty wallet. "That was my rent money. What have I done?" The next morning, the landlord banged on his door. "Time's up, Mitchell. I'm sorry. I just need one more day. No more chances." But wait, a lawyer arrived with papers. "Mr. Mitchell, a property has been transferred to your name." "What? Who?" "It's from Mr. Chen, the old man from yesterday. Turns out he owned half the buildings downtown." The businessman's eyes filled with tears. The lawyer continued. He said, and I quote, "You gave me my life when you had every reason to walk away. Now I'm giving you yours. God sees every sacrifice made in secret, and he rewards those who help without expecting anything back. Comment yes if you believe in divine blessings."
A businessman went to a food truck in the park and asked for a sandwich. "I'm sorry," said the man in the truck. "We are all sold out." Just then, an old man came. The truck man gave him a box of sandwiches. The businessman was surprised. The truck man said, "I always save the last 10 sandwiches for the old folks home." The businessman smiled. He bought a juice and even paid for the old man's sandwiches. Later, the businessman saw the old man selling sandwiches on the street. "Why are you selling that food?" he asked. The old man said, "There is nothing wrong with earning money." The next day, the old man came back and tried to take more food. This time, the truck man said, "Sorry, today the food is for sale," but the old man grabbed it anyway. The businessman paid again. The day after, the old man came back once more, but this time, he didn't ask for food. He gave the truck man some money. He said, "Thank you. The kind businessman gave me a job." Drop a heart if you believe kindness can change the world.
A young boy stood outside a church in the rain. He was shaking and cold. A rich woman walked past him. She stopped, looked at him, then kept walking. But then she turned around. She came back and asked, "Why aren't you going inside?" The boy looked down. "I prayed every day for my mom to get better. She died yesterday. God didn't listen." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "I'm so sorry." She opened her purse. "Here's money for food." The boy pushed it away. "I don't want money. I want my mom back. Can your money do that?" The woman froze. She slowly put the money back. "No, it can't. I'm sorry." Then she walked away. The boy sat on the wet steps. He was alone again. Inside the church, an old man was cleaning. He saw the boy through the window. He grabbed his coat and walked outside. He sat next to the boy in the rain. "I lost my son 5 years ago," the old man said quietly. "I was angry at God, too." The boy looked at him. "And why are you still here?" The old man smiled. "Because faith isn't about getting what we want. It's about knowing we're never alone, even in pain. Your mom loved you. That love doesn't die. God keeps it alive in your heart." The boy began to cry. The old man hugged him. "Come inside. Let's pray together. Not for answers, but for strength." They walked into the church together. Sometimes faith isn't about miracles. It's about finding light in the darkness. Drop a heart if you believe.